this is Chip with TNVC again, and today we're going to talk a little bit about night vision mounts, head mounts to be specific. Now, this is one of those things that can be overly complicated in some instances, because if you go on our website, you'll see just pages and pages of different mounts. Now, a mount is actually a system. You're going to have several parts, but we're going to start at the goggle because that's going to be the main component, because obviously that's what you're spending the most money on, and that's what you're going to want to get up on your head anyway. So you basically have three different types of mount interfaces. The most ubiquitous, the standard, is going to be what's called a bayonet horn interface. This is something that throws back to the PVS-7s, it's on the PVS-14s, at least on the PVS-14J arm. And basically it's a very easy, just click it in, depress the spring-loaded lever, and pull it out mount. It's very easy to find an index point and just attach it. The second style mount interface is going to be your dovetail. Dovetails are going to be flatter. They're going to give you a little bit more surface-to-surface contact between the interface and the actual helmet mount itself. They tend to be found more on dual goggle systems, but there are other adapters that are going to allow you to put a PVS-14 on your head using a dovetail style mount. And the reason why a lot of guys like the dovetail is because it is a little bit more stable because you've got more surface-to-surface contact. The third style is the ball detent Anvis style mount. This is mainly found on aviation goggles. Basically, this is not something that you see as often on our systems. It's going to be one of those goggle systems that is specific to the Anvis 9s, the AN/AVS-6, or in this case the newer Sentinel goggles. So those are your interfaces. Now, in order to attach the goggle to your head, you're going to need the mount, and the mount system is actually broken up into two parts. You've got a shroud, which stays permanently attached to the helmet. As you can see here, it's well, semi-permanently, we'll say. This one is bolted onto the helmet, and in this case, some helmets actually have them molded in directly to the shell. And then you've got the mount itself, and the mount itself is the part that you can actually remove from the goggle, but it's going to allow you to flip the goggle up out of the way. So as you can see here, this is a standard USGI Rhino mount, and as you can see, it's pretty simple to get a goggle down in front of your face, flip it up out of the way. But it can be removed completely for a lower profile on the helmet when you're not using night vision during the day. So let's talk a little bit about the mounts. Like I said, this is a standard issue USGI sturdy helmet mount, the rugged helmet mount, I should say, more commonly known as the Rhino mount, because when it's flipped up on top of the helmet, it kind of looks like a rhinoceros horn coming out of your head. This system gives you fore aft adjustment. It gives you a very slight tilt adjustment because it's important that you get the goggle right in front of your eyes. This is a very simple mount. It uses the standard bracket plate, which you're going to see on pretty much every modern mount that's being made today, because basically the U.S. Army standardized on that particular style. So this is going to be your least expensive mount interface. However, the Rhino mount was just recently replaced by the new Wilcox L4G11 Army mount. This is what just won the new contract. It has a lot of the same features, uses the same bayonet style interface that the standard goggles come with, gives you the fore aft adjustment, gives you tilt adjustment here, but one of the newer features is it actually gives you vertical adjustment, because not everyone's faces are going to be the same. So you know, if you got to get the goggle directly centered, which chances are, if you're doing rugged activity, it's not going to stay that way, but it always gives you that quick, easy field adjustment. So we'll just lock that back up here. One of the other mounts that Wilcox makes is the L4G24. Now the G24 is probably our second most popular selling mount, and basically this is a dovetail style mount. As you can see, the dovetail interface slides right in there, and it's got a very stable interface between the two. Now the G24 is going to obviously accept all of the dovetail style goggles, but with the PVS 14, if you want, you can attach a dovetail adapter. This particular one is made by Wilcox. Basically, it replaces the standard mil-spec bayonet horn interface and gives you a dovetail interface. So if you're running several different types of goggles, you can just swap out your J-arm on your PVS 14, and now you can go to a dovetail style interface. The G24, like I said, is a very popular mount. This is something that US SOCOM is kind of standardized on for a lot of their dual tube systems, but they're also adapting their PVS 14s to it as well. And then this is an example, another Wilcox mount for the Andis 9 goggles. This is an example of the aviation style ball detent. As you can see, it's a very low profile, but it's going to accept these ball detent style goggles. So mounts are going to have to clip into shrouds. Now, shrouds are the part, like I said a little bit earlier, that is going to bolt onto the helmet. And it's a semi-permanent attachment, and you've got two different styles mainly. Well, actually, we're going to look at three. You've got a single-hole shroud, you've got a three-hole shroud, and you've got a ratchet strap. And the ratchet strap being something that hooks onto the front, hooks onto the back, and then you can tighten it down. It goes over the top of the helmet. So basically, the time that you would want to use a ratchet strap is if your helmet is not pre-drilled to accept a night vision shroud, because you don't really want to go drilling into a ballistic helmet. Now, these shrouds allow you to clip in and clip out your night vision mounts. And the three-hole shroud is obviously going to be for a three-hole pattern. A lot of guys like this because it's a little bit more stable as far as anti-rotation goes. But it's going to give you a very nice, clean interface. It's actually, with just a very little bit of practice, easy enough to just reach up, clip in the mount without even having to look at it. You just kind of do it by feel. So when you have your mounts, a lot of guys ask, all right, why am I going to pay extra money for one of these mounts? Why is this one cost me under $200 and some of these others are going to cost me $500 or more? Well, you're really talking about quality materials. You're talking about user interface, ease of use. The USGI interface here, this is served on the front lines. It's a combat-proven mount, but it's not necessarily the best mount out there. It does the bare minimum of what you need it to do. But when you start getting into some of the higher end mounts, you're going to get other features, more adjustability. You're going to get locking features for adjusting the mount. You have to, in this case, press a little button here to push it up, pull it down, and it locks into place. You're going to overall just have higher quality materials. And the answer I give to a lot of guys besides that is, look, you're paying a lot of money for your night vision goggle. You obviously are looking for quality, so why would you then want to go and attach it onto your head, have the one thing that's really supporting it on your head be the cheapest possible option that you can get? So, with that kind of logic, guys start to see the value, because if you take your $3,000+ goggle and it takes a dump off your head, that's a bad night for you. So that's pretty much gonna end your hunt. It's gonna end your operation at night. So you really want to take mounts seriously, and you really want to look at getting the best value out there. And the best value isn't necessarily going to be what's going to be the cheapest. It's what's going to protect your goggle and keep it sturdiest on your head and give you the best possible experience for the longest amount of time.